All right, what's up, folks? Welcome to Foreign and Domestic. It is good to be here, and it is a shit show, I will tell you. But it's good to be here. Good to see everyone out there already jumping in. Appreciate everybody. And man, it's been a minute. I apologize, but we're back. And Alan, what you got going on, brother?
Oh man, it has been 3 weeks? We have never gone this long without a show, and I've been bugging. And I don't know why the professional amateur needs to touch his palm. That seemed weird, but let's start off in traditional fashion. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
If I had all my ducks in a row, I could go immediately to it, but I'm going to do this other thing here real quick where I have to click through like 5 screens to be able to tell you that Garage Guy 879 is out there. Ashley's been out there. Insight Frieden, one Mr. Reloading from the hot pot. And why this thing is deciding to not work with me very well, I don't quite know. Edward Petty, Christian guest. Yeah, people popping in.
Excellent. Jamie, what's going on, man?
I believe he is speaking with somebody else at this moment.
I said I was typing inside a response. So, but I've been working on guns and reloading ammo, 308, and all that other happy stuff, and cut grass today. So if I pass out, y'all know I stayed out in the yard too long. But it's nice and cool here, 58 degrees right now. I mean, what better time to be out cutting grass, hopefully for the final time of the season.
Yeah, I got one more run and I should be done, hopefully.
Appreciate y'all having me.
Absolutely, man. Daniel, what's going on, dude?
Well, let's see. Getting a lot of brass all ready to reload. I've ordered a whole bunch of bullets to reload in them. And I want to get out there and make a couple more powder buys before the writing's on the wall, people. Prices are going to go up again. I mean, just look at what's going on in the world today. So I'm making sure that my range that I just had expanded is going to get plenty of love. So, but thanks for having me on tonight. Folks in the side chat, how you doing?
Yeah, we'll talk about that shortly, I'm sure. Val, what's going on, man?
Same old. Thanks for having me. Finally, you guys showed up on Sunday. I was the first time I took over, but I was busy myself. I haven't done a whole lot today. I went and met with the people that are buying the house for the last time, and hopefully 2 weeks from now, it'll be their house and not my responsibility. Other than that, still fighting the legal battle. So I'm not allowed to own any guns in this state right now, but that doesn't mean that I can't reload or get ready. Somebody sent me some 10mm brass, so I was putting that to good use for the upcoming project out of this state. And that's about it for now.
Yeah, Christian, I'm right there with you, man. But it's going to be a hot topic, I'm sure. So we'll talk about it a little bit, but I'm right there with you on that one. There's already been a few people doing videos, so we'll get into that.
I do have to say that one of Daniel's recent acquirements makes me a little jealous of not being a retired seamstress.
It is what it is. And hey, it fits in my PO1 Omega holster. So things are coming together.
Absolutely beautiful, beautiful. And she's performing flawlessly according to your videos.
Yeah. Well, it's 300 rounds through it right now and 0 malfunctions. And I can't wait. Sometime this week, my lock grips are going to be showing up. So those will go on there. And on the 28th of this month, I'm going to go shoot a competition, a USPSA competition with it.
So you're going to pull off the aluminums and roll with some locks. What you got coming?
Some bogeys, just like I got on all of my other ones. Keep them all the same. That way, boom, conformality.
And for me, the bogeys literally fit my hand ideally. Prior to some of the bogeys that I put on, there's one area that just seems like a dead spot, and the bogeys fill that perfectly.
Yeah. And
Talking to grips.
My carry gun. It's going to be a carry gun and a competition. I shot
Talking
that PO1
talking to
Omega.
grips. We got Brown Works out there and package on the way. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Looking forward to that. I'll let you guys know what that is when it shows up. Daniel knows. I already gave him a sneak peek preview.
Wait, whoa, what? Are you sure you did?
Yeah, we talked about it.
Okay. You know how I remember things. That's probably why you told me.
Old, retired seamstress, forgetful. I get it.
Yeah. But
emphasis on old.
But you know something? USCZ and this other highly known gun manufacturer both gave me a lead on where to get the best springs to replace them in your mags. I wore out my PO1 mags. Those bullets were taking nosedives. So Wolf Springs. I might just do a video after I got them installed and try them out. I thought I was getting stronger because the bullets were going down on my mags real easy. They were just getting weaker from all the use. But it's fall, time to change the springs in your mags.
I don't know. I have my SIG magazines have quite a bit of runs through them, and they're still on the original mags. And same goes for my Grand Power magazines. Everything's on the original spring. So I don't know.
There's this thing called metal fatigue. And what ruins the springs, is them going up and down, not being in the full position or the full empty, but it's just the constant of them springs going up and down all the time. Get metal fatigue, they get weak.
So, well, and those Wolf Springs. So I recently redid my 686, and I went with Wolf Springs in that. They make some really, really good stuff. Those look like braided coils.
Well, there's 3 in a package.
Okay.
That's what gives it the look.
Yeah, Wolf makes a nice set of springs for the recoil springs as well for 1911s, CZs.
But I've had them.
Jamie, what are you filing over there?
Huh?
No, Jamie. He's crafting something.
I am. I'm making this is a broken Squirrel Daddy decapping pen. And I've got a problem with this 308 over here. I actually broke off a tap in the hole. So I've got to get that out. And then I'm going to change it from 648 to 840. I'm putting a bigger screw in there. And I'm going to be mounting this Arkin optic.
Nice. First focal plane.
And so what you have to do is when you have to retap that hole there in your receiver, you have to make sure everything's straight and true. And so I'm filing this down to make a pin, and this end will go into the chuck of my drill press, and I'll move that thing upside down. So instead of stopping it going down, I'll keep it from going up. In other words, I'll hold the chuck in that place, and then my T handle, which I'll put my tap in, will go in there, and then I'll turn that by hand very slowly. Does that make any sense at all?
Sort of.
Sort of.
Sounds like a tedious work, you know. Not something I would do. I would just get a bigger hammer if I'd be working on it.
Now, you would have taken this rifle to the gunsmith a long time ago.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, you got the brass stuck in the barrel?
No, I had I broke a tap off in the receiver hole where you put the screws that hold the base on,
Okay.
the optics, the scope bases. It's not my rifle. They were cross-threaded when I got it, and trying to get them off. 2 of the 4 broke off in there. So if I've got to go to all trouble to get them out of there, yes, Insight Arkin optics are the best value in Scopedom. Period. As far as I know, it's good glass, but their claim to fame and their selling point is the accuracy of their turrets, and they're just dead on. Last time we went to Dead Zero, I started at 300 yards. That's where I keep my Arkin optic zeroed on my 6.5 Creedmoor. There's you go from 300 to 600 to 800 to 1,000, and to hit the targets and progress, it only took me 1, maybe 2 shots to get on the steel, and then once you hit the steel, you can shoot on the targets. I shot a 3-shot group at each interval. At 300 yards, that gun's shooting half MOA. So it's shooting a 1.5 inch group at 300 yards with my hand loads.
All right. So with Daniel picking up that particular firearm, there was a question put out there from Pop's Quest, whether or not you would carry an expensive pistol. So we'll go through the room and see what folks have to say about that. And guys, let us know in the comments out there what you think. But Jamie, what'd you think, man? You carry an expensive pistol?
Probably not. I want just enough to get me home. I don't spend a lot of money on pistols. Now, revolvers, that's a different story. And yes, I will carry an expensive revolver from time to time, but unless it's a steel frame, hammer fired, I'm not spending a lot of money on a semi-automatic pistol. Just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I saw that announcement come over the line and just didn't get the opportunity to hit the link to see what Pops was talking about there. But as for carrying expensive pistols, that's kind of a relative term on what people consider expensive. You know, I carry a 365 XL, but it's got a light, it's got a dot on it. Not really all that expensive, but then again, I have also carried my Shadow too. So yes and no. For the most part, no. Most of my carries, I don't have safe queens. So I've carried virtually every pistol I own at some point or another. I don't carry revolvers simply because I don't have the holsters to carry those revolvers, which might end up changing in the future. But for the most part, it's it's relative. And it depends upon if I plan on really going outside of my town, if I'm carrying something other than my 365 XL.
All right, so you bring up a good point. Show those gorillas and guns out there that $300 is expensive to some people. So let's readdress how we set this up. So let's put it more along this lines. Would you carry a collectible? Would you carry a competition gun, higher end, souped up race gun, that type of thing?
Okay, let's set the parameters. Let's say $500. Less than $500 is inexpensive. Over $500 is expensive. Can we agree on that?
Yeah,
well, not really, because the Glock 45 is like almost $700. So I think with the binomics, you got to step it up. I would say anything under
it's overpriced.
Well,
It's overpriced.
now that word never entered my mind, brother. It didn't. I'm sorry.
I would say anything over $1,000 would be like super expensive. Anything under is, that's just me.
Yeah, so
Okay.
so if we set the bar at $1,000, because in all actuality, like my X10's got a light, my X10's got an optic, and so it, is it pushing these kind of numbers? Yeah, it's pushing these kind of numbers. Do I carry the X10? Yeah, absolutely, I do. I plan on going over to the east side of Des Moines. That's my go-to. And and like Garage Guy says, I'm only going to carry it if I know I can trust it with my life. And so for the most part, I'm not gonna, like Daniel, strap a high point to my hip. But But if the high point is what you can do, then that's fine, because you also have a hammer. If you work construction, they work great. They're multi-purpose.
Right.
Fuzzies, anything over 300 is expensive. Yeah, I get that. But like Daniel carrying, and he paid what, like 1,300 for that pistol.
1321. That's with tax and everything.
Yeah.
So it was actually priced under 1,300. Is a tax that pushed it over.
Not that he's counting or anything.
Yeah, and you could totally carry it now. Then you got to deal with like getting an optic plate dealt with and putting an optic on it. If you're going to carry it with a light or not. So this is going to add up eventually. One of the philosophies on that is that if you are actually involved in a situation where you have to use the firearm, you better expect to not have possession of that after the fact. So can you live with not having possession of that after the fact is also something that I think needs to be looked at when people talk about that. But, when it comes to carry something, when I first came out to Iowa, the first thing that I got was a $300 gun, and it now is my desk pistol.
All right, Bald, what's your thoughts, man?
Well, I'll put it this way. You're always going to get a best tool for the job that you can afford. You can get to break the concrete with a sledgehammer, or you can have a freaking power tool for that. It can be done either way. So it really boils down to what you can afford and what you feel comfortable with. I mean, you got people that will shoot a $500 gun just as well as a $1,200 gun, and they just feel comfortable with one or the other. So, like they say, you can't put a price on your life, and chances are that if you're ever in a situation you have to use a gun, first of all, it's really small chance. Second of all, unless you're law enforcement, I don't think it's going to happen twice in your lifetime. If it does, you definitely need to move. So I would say, that have a best tool for the job. It's like my wife was in an accident and she was damn glad she was in a BMW with like a 6 freaking airbags all the way around. So same thing, when you're in an accident, once you have a broken leg, wouldn't you wish you would have something with the more safety features in it and whatnot? So it's the same for the pistol. I don't think the actual gun is as important as it is how proficient you are with it. Because you can have a $3,000 Wilson Combat. If you don't know how to disengage the safety and how to draw the damn gun, then what's the point?
Well, yeah, and I was going to put that as a relative term. Would you be like, walking around with the alien on your hip just because that's what you have at that time?
No. Unless I don't have anything else. I just that damn thing is too heavy, and it's just it's a 2-pound brick. It's heavy enough just to carry around in the competition. But if, let's say, I don't have anything else and I need some tool to protect me, yeah, I would take that. I don't care if the shit goes down and I want to have it. That's the least of my problem at that time.
Right. Yeah, price doesn't really concern me at all. It's how proficient I am with that particular firearm. I've carried the Shadow 2 many, many times. Back when I was running the range, that was my preferred pistol of choice to carry. For many, many different reasons, but it's one of the ones I shoot the best. So why I always, have no issue carrying it, just like I have no issue carrying one of my Model 29s if I need to. Yeah, it's expensive. Yeah, it's worth some, a good chunk, whatever. It's a collectible. If something happens, am I going to lose it? Potentially. But it comes down to, again, and folks out in the side chat have said it too, what's your life worth? I'm not too worried about the pistol more than I am about this guy right here, so really not concerned about the price or anything like that.
Now let's flip the table. Actually, no, let Daniel go. Then we'll talk about it.
All right. My turn now?
Yeah.
All right.
We almost overlooked you, sorry.
You can overlook me all day long, but you cannot overlook the gun. Okay, I wanted this gun because I've got a Shadow 2. I'm used to shooting the Shadow 2. The Shadow 2 Compact is pretty much so far interchangeable with everything my PO1 Omega, sort of the holsters, the light, all that stuff there. The biggest gripe I had about it, is like, yes, with that safety, or am I going to use the double action when I'm carrying it? Yes. But I went ahead and put that nice big paddle safety on there too, because I'm just used to hitting it. I can flip that safety on and off without even thinking about it. And I'm putting it where I need to have it. Using this barrel here, though, is a 1/2 inch longer than my PO1 Omega. And it's got a fiber optic sight. It's ready for an optic. What really made me want to get a gun with an optic is when I went and shot this night shoot, with Spectre, I have a 500 lumen light, and I had it under my pistol, and I couldn't acquire my iron sights worth of crap. I mean, I was slow, big time. So would that hinder me in a nighttime situation? Yeah. If I can't see that front sight, even running a light, and the reason why I want to run an optic is, and practice a lot and have the best gun that I personally can afford, that I don't consider the $1,300 an expensive gun. These guys that are running competition, they're spending $5,000-$6,000 for a pistol. When you get in a self-defensive situation, odds are you never will have to pull a gun in a self-defense situation. But if you should, every bullet that comes out of that gun is a lawsuit, a potential lawsuit coming. So that's why I train, I practice, I shoot the heck out of a gun before I carry it to make sure that not only the gun, that I am going to be good with that gun and I'm hitting what I'm aiming at. So the next thing I got to do is, yes, get that optic plate. I don't want to get a green dot on it because, yeah, with green, I can see a lot better. If this gun gets confiscated, if I'm in a situation and I have to use it, and if it gets confiscated, $1,321, and hopefully I didn't hit no innocent bystanders, and I'm walking away from the situation, and I'm coming home to my family, because what's going to be coming next is the lawsuits. You can be sued by the person that you shot, stopping a crime from injuring someone that's innocent, not just you, but some other innocent out there. But their family members are going to be suing you also. And that's going to take hundreds of thousands of dollars to defend yourself in a righteous shoot. And that's why I also carry some carry insurance. People can debate about that all day long, but a very small price I pay once a year for that. I've got a good fuzzy feeling, and hopefully that does, they get me a lawyer. So I don't consider that expensive, because I want the best tool that I can get, train with that tool. So I am not going to shoot any innocent bystander, and my bullets are going to go exactly where I want them to go. So there'll be people going home to their families besides me going home to my family. Everybody goes home except the bad guy.
So what you're saying is you didn't buy that Shadow 2 compact just to make me jealous?
No, but that was the first thing I thought of after I filled out that 4473. Is that what it is? He's going to hate me for this. Because I knew you wanted one. Hey, they got another one up there. If you come on up. Oh, wait, you live in Illinois. You can't buy it here. Sorry.
Yeah, Iowa. Yeah.
Iowa, Illinois, all that. They're all the same. I got to give you some.
Yeah, I'm still going to acquire one. I'm waiting to find out now what you're going to do about an optics plate.
It is the Trigicon and CZ USA both recommended for me to go to the same place to have it made, and that's the one that I mentioned in the video. So far Trigicon you can't sneeze at, as far as their knowledge. And CZ USA, they own Colt, they own Dan Wesson now too, so they might know what they're doing.
So what footprint does it have on the slide?
On the slide itself, there is no footprint. There is just a 2-inch cut for the optics plate. What is messing me up is the separation where the part of the optics plate, the cover that's on it now, where it's tapped for an optics plate, that measurement is a hair different than what's out there on the market for that G-Word product and those other ones. It's just a little bit different on how far separated it is. So CZ sounded like they went proprietary, however you pronounce that word, for that product. But they've only got one that they sell, and they've been out of stock with them So I want to take a little time.
Hopefully not for anywhere near as long as Dylan has been out of die sets.
Yeah. Proprietary. Yeah, that's the word. But I'm just going to find out what I want to put on it, because I might even just go with the Gideon optics that Chris from the 740 recommended. And speaking of Chris, this from the 740, Jason.
Yeah, I already sent him a link. I talked to him.
Well,
I forgot. I forgot
Is
to find
looking
one.
in. Gorillas and Guns is looking into getting a PO7 for his carry, and I carried my PO7 for about a year and a half. Yeah, absolutely love that pistol. That's a good carry pistol.
Oh, Gideon, the guy that's opened up the shop up here up the road, they've got a Gideon. They're going to do a torture test on it. And I want to be standing right there beside you with the phone filming it because before they sell the products, they're going to beat the crap out of it.
I think all the guns, when they come milled, they should automatically come milled for either RMR, RMSC, or Delta Point Pro or something. You know, I mean, in a theory, there's only two big things you got to worry about, two big profiles, and that's RMR and Delta Point Pro. All the other ones, Doctor and all those, don't really matter because it's such a small margin. They gotta figure it out. I know that like CZ is probably too narrow to directly mill it for the RMR, but they could go with the RMSC footprint. This way, at least you have an option putting the dot right on the gun without any adapter plates.
Well, with the mount for it, it's where on the slide where the holes are drilled into the slide to put the mounting plate or an optic. The measurement is just off of what is out there for the standard.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I know, like my Bull Armory, for example, it comes. You have to use a plate in order to put an optic on it. So, but it does come with the RMR plate, RMR footprint, so you can mount something right away. CZ doesn't come with anything. Same thing with the Staccato. You buy the gun, but you got to buy a plate separately. So the gun, especially 2011 and 2011 style guns, CZ is basically same thing, an arrow slide. They should be milled for the RMSC footprint from the factory, and it shouldn't be that big of a deal making an adapter plate that goes from RMSC into the RMR. So if you decide to go with a full size optic, then you know you can get a plate, but at least straight out of the factory, the gun should be milled. That's just my opinion. One of the reasons why I run the Delta Point Pro on my SIG is because the SIG is milled directly for a Delta Point Pro or the 6-hour optics. Anything else, I need adapter plate. And for one, it raises the sight a bit. You know, for two, I got no real issues with the Delta Point Pro.
It would be nice if they standardized that stuff, but there's so many different footprints out there from all the different optics.
Not really. It really boiled down to two footprints right now. And nothing. All the other ones don't really matter. Vortex and all that, they don't sell enough of them to justify that. If you go with that, then you worry about getting yourself a proprietary plate or something like that. If you really satisfy people with the RMR and Delta Point Pro, it'll push the other manufacturers to switch as well. And I think eventually RMR is going to win the battle, and all the optics are going to be RMR footprint. I really think that's what's going to happen eventually.
I hate to agree with Val, but I absolutely hate to agree with Val, but yeah, in between Delta Point Pro and RMR, even if they just leave them as those two, because the SIG uses Delta Point Pro footprint. So yeah, if companies just stayed in that space, that would be best.
Yep. That's why I'm really looking forward to the Livery Armory 2011, because that one's milled for the RMSC. So for the micro red dot can go straight on the slide. It's the same thing with my Hudson H9. The optic ready slide I bought is milled for RMSC, and it's kind of stupid. Like, why did you do it for that? And I realized they couldn't put a bigger optic on it without the adapter plate. So, and there are companies out there that make adapter plates that go from RMSC to RMR. You know, so if you want to put a bigger dot, then yeah, you got an option. But at least the gun right out of the box is ready to accept the red dot.
Ultimately, it would be good if you could just not even have to run an adapter plate. You know, the lower the better is what it boils down to. But
well, you're gonna have to because the RMSC and RMR, it's really the width. So you're talking about a micro red dot opposed to full size red dot. So you can't physically fit the full size on it without some kind of plate. So I understand, that's the problem. That's one of the reasons why the 2011s are done like that. But I think even Staccato uses adapter plates, but I think they melt for whatever optic straight up without the adapter plate. I think you can put a delta point or something right on it without the adapter plate. Or that FK burner, for example, that thing's actually drilled out for a bunch of different optics straight up, but it's a big ass gun, so you got a lot of real estate. It's the same thing with my 3-gun rifle, the offset 45 mount. I have the hell do I have? Strike Industries, and that thing is drilled out and tapped for like a bunch of different. It accepts virtually any optic on it.
Yeah, there's a couple different manufacturers out there that offer plates that have a whole bunch of them already pre-drilled.
Now we're talking about expensive guns. I was gonna flip the script over. Now imagine something like that's happening in Israel and Gaza and all that. Something like that's happening wherever you live. So all of a sudden you have to leave the house. It doesn't matter which side you're on, but you gotta leave the house. You might get into battle, whatever. So you need a gun, and you don't know when you're gonna come back. You don't know when you're gonna be able to grab a different gun. So what gun would you grab then? Are you still grabbing your actual EDC, or you're gonna have different factors to look into? Scotsman, your turn.
All right, so what's going on with Lakeview?
Not a whole lot.
There?
Not a whole lot. Nothing's. People are too freaking cheap. Whatever the last money I sent him, that was it. I didn't receive any payment since, and there was little traction on a Gives and Go. There's about $400 or $500 sitting there, and that's about it. Let me put a link. Maybe some of these cheap bastards over there we go and donate tonight.
There's also a link in the description, guys. Jump down there and help out if you can.
That's very encouraging, Val.
Well, it is for you and people that actually entered so far, because it does cut the competition quite a bit. So I understand that, but I kind of feel bad because it's not doing what I intend to do with this, and money doesn't go to me, so I can care less. But it's it's just not what I wanted, and it makes me feel a little fuzzy around the heart when I actually can send a bigger check than what happened so far. But it is what it is. I said we'll wait till the end of the month, so we'll wait till the end of the month, and maybe first week of November, maybe we'll do it on this chat, and we'll just go. We'll do a giveaway. We gotta figure out how we're gonna do that.
Yeah, we can do that. Sounds good. Yeah, we can figure something out.
Well, to get back to your question and evaluation on the twist of or the twist of the question, if I've got time, it's going to be one thing. If I'm grabbing and bouncing, it's going to be another. Fact is I'm set up right now to grab the 320 AXG Pro, AGX Pro, whichever it is. I'm set up to grab that and the black rifle, and I can be out the door in less than 6 minutes. Kitted. So if I'm not grabbing anything else, then yeah, it's going to take me 6 minutes to get out my door.
I can't do that. I need to work on that.
while you're BSing, what if you don't have a half hour? What if you were laying there in bed and your doggies downstairs start yipping and barking and you ignore it because you're really tired and it's 10 o'clock in the morning and you was up all night because your body was hurting and you're just feeling like crap, and then you hear a noise and then you hear your dogs barking out on the porch. I grabbed my JP5. It was already loaded. All I had to do is hit the on switch on the optics, throw some shorts on, and they were both pointed at the woods right beside my house. My kitchen door is wide open. Somebody tried to get in the house. So, and I didn't grab my carry gun. I believe in fast firepower for the situation. That's immediate home defense. So, why did they open my door and let my dogs out? Were they trying to throw some Benadryl in there, or were they just that stupid? Because Scotsman's has seen my big brown dog.
You completely missed the point, both of you, what I was trying to say. It said the world's going to shit. The zombies are ruling the world. You got time to pack up whatever you want to pack up. But are you gonna grab the gun that you shoot the best? You're gonna grab your 2011 or whatever that you know it's reliable enough and you know that you can hit accurately at 100 yards, or you're gonna go ahead and grab a Glock, MMP, or something that you know if it breaks down, you can find a million other ones with a spare parts and whatnot.
I didn't miss the
where I
point.
was going with this.
I didn't miss a point. I'm not leaving. I'm here defending this place till Scotsman rolls in and a few other people roll in who are coming here.
Ain't nobody wants to go to Ohio.
These are local Ohio
He's
folks.
not wrong, man. I'm gonna grab the C-Max rifle. I'm gonna grab the Shadow 2 and got the most common calibers and hit the road.
Yeah, I'm heading down to Inside Freedom. I'm heading down to Hills of Tennessee.
Yeah. But there's people that on a normal drive that can be here anywhere from 15 minutes to 2 hours, and they're going to be here. That's in normal driving. Crap hits the fan and your highways are all backed up. They might take a few hours to a week. And like in Scotsman's case, it's going to take him a month to get here. He's so jacked up.
Well, he can always get the paraglide and go like the freaking Hamas over to Israel, so he can fly over to you.
No, he wouldn't want to do that. Come on, look at
this
it. They
guy's
think he's
feet
a
stays
boss.
firmly on the ground.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what I would do. If I had more time, I might take more with me. I'd just take a little bit more provisions. But I too have a bug out location that I need to go to in order to help protect some other people. But I'm grabbing a 9mm. I don't own a Glock, but it's a 320 variant, and so it's going to be as common as I'm going to be able to find. And my black rifle is literally set up as just like a battle rifle. It'll take anything standard AR-15 on top. So in between my battle belt and my plate carrier, I'm carrying a full load out of ammo. But I could take more ammo with me. I could grab a couple other pistols or even another rifle or two. I could even bring the shotgun, but why? It's just heavier than shit. It depends. Ultimately, if I've got my battle belt has some medical on it.
Yeah, because
So
for me
yeah,
trying
am
to
I
get
carrying
somewhere,
an expensive pistol at that point? Kinda. Um, with the value of what I purchased it for, with the light, with the optic, yeah. Am I carrying an expensive AR? No, not really. It's got a couple minor accoutrements, but it's not really all that expensive. And would it break my heart if I dropped this thing 10 feet onto concrete? No. Are they going to break? Probably not.
if the shit hit the fan, does price of what you paid for it matter anymore? No. It's reliability. Is it gonna work? It's like, hey, B, I got to rely on these guys showing up in my house because I can't take that 5 mile walk anymore.
There was another thing I was, because I was watching Guns and Gear. He had the whole video about how he changes his loadout and what he carries and all that. And on the one hand, yeah, he's got all that fancy shit. On the other hand, he was windy just to carrying the shit on his deck and talk about it. So what's the point having the carrier and 50 mags and all that when you put it all on you and you're so out of freaking shape that you can't even walk a mile in that shit?
If I got to abandon my house, I'm going to be over at one of my neighbors helping defend their house. Because I'm sure if they had to abandon their place, they're going to be rolling in here and helping me defend this.
Oh, I hear you. I'm where I am. I wouldn't be leaving. Actually, I would, because my guns are not here.
Well, but it's a very valid point. It's like the plate carrier I'd grab right now, it's got steel plates in it. They're heavier than all get out. Am I in the best shape of my life? Absolutely not. I'm in probably the worst shape of my life. I'm a heavy smoker. Doesn't help things. So I, can I do the things in a plate carrier that I used to be able to do 4 years ago? Probably not. But am I looking at healthier options? Yeah, I'm looking at healthier options and how to shed more weight. It just doesn't seem to be happening at my age very easily.
That's another good topic. Who does have plate carriers? And what do you have as your setup? I don't have steel plates. I have what's that other one?
Kevlar.
I got level 4 ceramic plates. A little bit lighter. I think on average they're about 1.5 pounds lighter, something like that. But it makes a big difference because it's a lot of weight, especially you got a bunch of mags on there, fully loaded. It is a lot of weight.
Yeah, I run a Spartan rig. It's got Spartan plates in it and trauma pads and a bunch of other accoutrements, but it's heavy. I'm not carrying 300 rounds on my plate. I don't like double stacking my mags out in front of me. But I also am carrying a battle belt, and so I've got mags on the battle belt, both for my primary and my secondary. But I'm also carrying first aid, my secondary. I'm carrying 3 tourniquets, a medical kit, and so all that stuff adds up. And so to say that I haven't been looking at other ceramics in the past month, I totally have. Totally have, in order to swap out those steel plates with ceramics. As they say,
And the thing with those is catch them on sale. I think I picked mine up last year and I caught them on sale. They had a special going on where we could get both of them for a decent price. A couple folks out there commenting on the sweatshirt. That's all thanks to that guy over there. And if you see in the background, he's got his too.
Yeah, Scotsman's the one that put all this together. I'm just the shit show supervisor.
But if it all goes, balloon goes up and craziness all goes down, at our age, do you think we would really last more, not just a month, but say a week if it was full blown going at it? War is for young people. That's why all your infantry and stuff like this in the military, the average age, what I was in, it was like 22. Yeah, gets all these people in shape. Now, if it hits the fan, it's going to be other people our age and younger and stuff like this. But for us preparing, it's only helping increase our odds somewhat.
So what are we looking at, Val?
There's no steel plates. Steel plates are somewhere else. But this is my thing. And believe it or not, I got the G magazines and 10-round magazines. That's all I got in here. And this is for the short pew pew that unfortunately I don't have. And of course you gotta have a morale patch.
Morale patch. Okay.
Yeah, well, Fuzzy is showing out the wisdom there. Yeah, it is. War is a young man's game, but somebody's got to tell those young people what to do and how to do and why to do. And it takes age and experience in order to know how to do that.
Haven't heard from Jamie.
I'm hunkering down, man. I got a start of a bunker out back. And my opinion is I'm 61 years old. I know what's in store for me when this life is over. Once I get home, I ain't got nowhere else to run to, brother. I'm standing and holding my ground and defending my daughter and my granddaughter and my wife and my son. And what happens, happens.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got their own way of their idea of what they would do, and or at least you should have some type of plan, and that's a good one. Except I'd say you're a little vulnerable in that position.
We have a place out back where there used to be a barn, and it's surrounded by rocks on three sides. So if they if they overtake the house, we can retreat back to there, and then in the immortal words of Mr. T, I pity the fool.
See, that's why I want to get a thermal scope. Someone takes over the house. Those thermal scopes really work good at night.
They really do. And they were talking trash at a CMA meeting, and somebody said something to me, and I just grinned. And the chapter president said, "He's accurate from a long way away." And I didn't say anything. He said, "You'll never hear the shot that kills you, you fool with him." And I'm like, golly, man.
So you're getting a reputation.
That's a terrible thing to say.
Absolutely true. I mean, the major mass of us are going to be vulnerable in one way, shape, form, or another.
It just helps improve your odds is all it's doing. If you're set and good, know where you're going when you die, all you can do is help protect your loved ones and to help them get through it.
It's a horrible thing to think about, but I think we have to at least give some time and attention to what we would do in such a situation. What you're talking about is a full-on military invasion. You're talking about foreign troops on the ground with evil intentions, or even worse, our government turn our own military against right-leaning, tax-paying Americans. And
what about zombies?
Oh, just don't live in the big cities and you don't have to worry about zombies.
right.
Well, they're gonna make it out of the cities eventually.
I mean, we don't have as many people. It's going to be zombies out here, but the population of the cities, I'm talking your meth heads and all that there. I mean, there's already zombies out there. They're called liberals.
Now imagine zombies on meth.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fuzzy. We are hoping for the blue helmets. That way, they just make easy targets.
Not all UN troops wear blue helmets, people. I never wore a blue helmet. I've got many UN awards.
So it's, we were close to having the zombie thing going on during COVID. You think about think of a pandemic like that, where if you get it, it's terminal. You're not going to get over it. You're going to die, and you get desperate. Then that's a scary proposition. It really is.
Yeah, look how desperate people got about toilet paper and cleaning supplies and whatnot, and it was fake virus.
I love Big Al.
Yeah, I haven't seen Big Al in a long time. I actually texted him because I haven't heard from him in a. I was hoping he's okay. I guess I had the wrong phone number.
Oh, Fuzzy's right. Yes, I burned my UN medals.
Yeah, so what I run is a blue alpha setup with the Cobra, drop leg units, all safari, first aid, tourniquet, and these here, an AR mag and a couple of pistol mags. In between that and the carrier itself, which, it's got a morale patch, just 3 up front, because again, I don't like to run too heavy. Right up front, if I need to go prone, I can go prone. Got another tourniquet over here on the side, but that is a little bit of a heavy rig. I do want to eliminate some of the weight off of that, but it's accessible. It's super quick. I practice throwing it on, throwing it on. I've timed myself a number of times. I'm getting into my cabinet. I grab the pistol in the holster, throw it on there, throw the mags in, ready to rock. Yeah, well, I could take the plates out for storage, but then it wouldn't be anywhere near as accessible as it needs to be if I need it quick. If I'm, shit, I need to know. I need to know right now, and I can throw everything on, be ready and out the door before 6 minutes.
He's got a
Huh?
point right there. That's why you want to be a belt and suspenders kind of a guy.
Well, and for a while, this particular rig has the Velcro inner belt system. And for a while, I wore that belt as an EDC belt, just to give it a try. It works fine. It works fine as an EDC belt, but for regular everyday purposes, I'm using a core belt.
Yeah, Gorilla. There's still lots open, but it protects the majority of all the vitals. That's the point.
But if you're going to go up against Jamie, he's going to put one right between your eyes.
Yeah, it's not really going to matter that much, even if I am wearing an actual ballistics helmet. All that's going to do is bounce off the inside of the helmet because the bullet came from this way. I have been also looking around at ballistics helmets, mostly for ease of putting on this kit, and also running night vision. So being able to power up night vision, also have the AllenBePro already in place, which doubles as air amplifiers. So yeah, I've been looking around at that a little bit and trying to see what I would like to run with also full on chem filtered face mask system, because chemicals are a thing.
Hey, this is going to maybe a little off the wall question, but I was thinking about this the other week. In your first aid kits, does anybody in here carry Narcan? Because I think that the drugs that are out there right now are the biggest threat. I mean, you can just touch something, or you can come up on somebody that did some mouth to mouth to somebody that OD'd, and now they're ODing.
Because you're stupid if you're doing mouth to mouth to somebody that OD'd. At that point, you deserve to OD.
You don't know if they. I mean, you can't always tell, because now even policemen that touched something that's got this drug on it.
It's actually not a bad idea. And on a radio, they got commercials all the time. You can get that Narcan and all that crap for free. Yeah, I mean, that you make a phone call, they'll send it to you, no questions asked, which is kind of sad, but it's probably not a bad idea to have it actually.
Because I carry my first aid thing, in my car, and when I'm on the range, boom, and they go right there on the range. But it's like I'm out in town, something like that. It could be you touch somebody, and now you OD'd from that. I think it's just about as important to carry Narcan now as it is to have a tourniquet.
Well, I'm not sure how many drugs would live in my system if it got into my system.
Well, it doesn't matter with that. What's that synthetic drug?
Fentanyl.
fentanyl. That I mean, you're talking a little tiny bit that can send you to medium maker, and you don't even have to ingest it. You can just touch it and all that. So I mean, he's got a point. I wouldn't worry about it myself because I don't really put myself in those situations. I don't have any contacts with any people. I don't really know anybody. I mean, supposedly we have like a heroin epidemic around here. I I don't know. I don't associate myself with any of these people, so I'm not that concerned with that. But I hate to say it, old man's got a point there.
Scotsman, put
Well,
this down as a
I used
first.
to I used to carry around EpiPens all the time. I honestly don't have an EpiPen anywhere anymore. I used to keep an EpiPen in my vehicle. Um, had them sitting around in a couple of different places, and they just ended up expiring. Only once has one of my EpiPens been used, because somebody got stung by a bee and they were like very, very allergic to bees. And so that EpiPen held them over until we got them to the hospital. Uh, so it's a great thing to have around, but honestly, I don't think I've got any EpiPens anymore.
Well, I'm not allergic. Nobody in my family is. So yeah, I don't have any of them either. And yeah, it's a problem. All these things have a shelf life, but I probably, even if it expired, it's still better than nothing.
Miss Kitty makes a good point. All those things have shelf lives. You can't buy it once and forget it. You got to use it up or replace it and throw it away.
Yeah, and it's the same reason why I periodically go through my first aid kits, because stuff has shelf lives. I mean, yes, it doesn't mean that they're useless after that. It's just good guidelines to work with.
Some meds actually turn into poison after they hit their expiration date. So, if you know somebody that is a pharmacist or in the nursing field, they can explain what is bad, really bad when it expires, and you shouldn't even mess with it, and what is only weakened a little bit.
Well, and really common things actually. Aspirin is one of those. There, penicillin. Penicillin is really bad to keep over an extended period of time. Just some things that are pretty common. Yeah, can become very, very dangerous after they've been expired for a little while.
I knew aspirin was, but penicillin?
Yeah.
Hmm. Oh, do you know you got to get a subscription now from your veterinarian to get any kind of penicillin type meds for your goldfish?
Yeah, any kind of animal antibiotic, and a lot of fish medications are precisely the same thing that they prescribe for humans.
Yeah, but see, they changed the law on that here this last summer. Where now, because people were stocking up on this stuff, they put it out here. At least I know in Ohio, you have to have a veterinarian's prescription to get animal meds like penicillin, stuff like that. Now, I think it's a crock.
Yeah, that's the result of the lobby. Same reason you have to go you have to have automobile insurance. You know why? Because the people that sell automobile insurance were lobbying your representatives, and they voted yes after whatever else happened that we won't talk about. Not that my representative is taking money from lobbyists, but yeah. Do y'all know who my representative is?
Is that a green lady?
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah,
She's not really green. That's just her name.
I know. That's for I couldn't remember her first name.
My congressman representative right now is, I'm really hoping he's going to get the Speaker of the House.
Yeah, my representative sent out a poll to her constituents, wanting to know. She was stating that she was backing Donald Trump to be Speaker of the House until he got elected to be president. And one of the choices, she gave you a choice of the two that are up there and Donald Trump. And I think she got surprised because I voted for Jordan, your guy. And yeah, I think if every representative was more like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Jim Jordan, I think this country would be in a whole lot better shape.
Little backstory on Jim Jordan: 4 state wrestling titles, 4 NCAA titles in wrestling. So he knows what it takes to win, and he kicks ass.
Very cool. Remind me not to wrestle that dude, huh?
Yeah. Hey, I was a wrestler, so I respect. I mean, I just to win one state championship, I would respect that person big time. But 4 and then turn around and see are you talking the top schools, not the little podunk schools that win 4 more? Yeah.
That garage guy, no, he wasn't Ric Flair. He really wrestled. I mean, it was real, not like what Ric Flair does.
Yeah. I mean, I went to state and I got my butt handed to me. I admit it. What didn't go in the right frame of mind.
Fuzz wants to wrestle Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm telling you, dude, in Georgia, she's not that hot, man. I'm telling you, she's
Fuzzy hasn't seen the eye doctor in years, okay?
Yeah. Well, I will freely admit that she's not hard on the eyes, but yeah, I wouldn't wrestle her, Fuzz.
Well, we got AOC over there from New York, so.
Doug Thomas, John Jordan. That must be one of the grandkids because of his kids and his nephews. I think they only lost one NCAA title.
Can you put Fuzz's comment up there? Fuzz don't call much, does he?
Hey, if that's his standards, there's this one out there in California that he would be willing to date. Policy.
And you ain't wrong there, Signal.
I don't know her.
That's the one that used to have that restaurant, right?
Yeah, she
I think
actually
she
owned it.
still has the restaurant.
No, they closed down. They opened a Mexican restaurant there. I think she lost the lease or something because they were like open carrying or whatever, and she lost the lease because the liberals were like all happy about it. I think she just didn't have a time to run it since she's in the Congress.
Well, I think people who are in Congress need a day job. I don't think you're supposed to go up there and stay and make a career out of it. And you sure don't need to keep getting money and retirement benefits after you go back home to your real job. You just don't. I'm sorry, y'all killing us.
Supposed to serve. Go there to serve.
Right.
All right, so Ball, you shot some 3-gun here recently, man. How'd that go?
Recently, I already forgot about it. Yeah, it's been a minute. It was awesome. The Pro AM Championship in South Carolina with Cowboy 32. And it was the whole week was great because I actually came to Tennessee on Wednesday, hung out with a friend. Then Wednesday night I went to North Carolina to a casino. I met with X-Ring. I wound up spending a night. The next day I hung out with the X-Ring. Then I drove to Charlotte, met with Boy. Then we drove to South Carolina. We spent 2 nights over there. We shot a match. Then I spent the night at Boy's house again and drove back on Monday. So it was awesome. 5 or 6 days, almost a week that I spent down south. And match was just super. My Atlan scope 1 to 10 with the combined with the 77 grain AAC ammo, it was just a match made in heaven. I mean, no issue shooting out to 560 yards. Other than I couldn't hit the freaking plate rag at 100, and I went to war with it. So, yeah,
Isn't it amazing how the plate racks will drive you nuts?
it was, man's got to know his limitations. So I
There's
kind of.
Nothing wrong with going vendetta if something pisses you off enough.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a competition, so timed out. That pissed me off. I kind of forgot about the time completely. Other than that, rest of the stages I was good. I did good. I was really happy with the performance and everything. I was really helped out that I was able to shoot with the KB a couple of weeks before at his range, and we shot out to 500 yards. So I actually knew where to hold and how the demo works, and that just gave me a little more confidence. And I had a Sig Romeo 1 Pro on my AR as a 45 offset red dot, and that bit the dust. It one of the stages you can see I'm shooting, and I had to transition to my glass because the red dot went dead. So the Multag on it stopped working. So basically, the red dot would stay on for about 2 minutes, then it would shut off, unless you turn the Multag off completely, and they would stay on. So I called SIG, I sent it in, and within 2 weeks, I had a brand new optic in the mail. No questions asked, no nothing. They shipped me brand new optic. All the accessories, everything, brand new in the box. So pretty happy with that.
Yeah, it's bad when stuff goes down, but at least they backed it up and took care of you.
Yep. No, the ammo ran great. All the guns ran great. I just wish I'd be a little better with a shotgun. I couldn't hit any of the flying targets to save my life. But other than that, was a really fun event. I haven't shot any other 3-gun since last year. Last year I shot exactly the same match. So, the next year I'm definitely gonna be looking for the more 3-gun matches and do a little more traveling. And one of the reasons why I want to move down south is so I can shoot more 3-gun.
So Dan, what's this match you got coming up? I know you were talking about a minute.
I'm sorry. I'm reading these comments between Jamie and Fuzz. I think if Garage Guy, Jamie, and Fuzz ever got together for a weekend, poor Jamie would be praying for forgiveness for the rest of his life. Okay, I've got a USPSA match coming up on the 28th. I'm going to be taking my new acquisition to it and shooting it iron sights in production just to get more experience and confidence with it and going, with the buzzer, moving around and trying to get through the stage as fast as I can, shooting as accurate as I can. Just because next year I'm just going to be shooting. I mean, what is it? This is just, it's a production gun, but next year I'm going to have an optic on it. So what is that? It's going to be limited optics.
Depends how you're gonna run it. You can run limited optics. You can run carry optics. You know the rules for the production. You know that
No,
you
that's why
have
I'm
to start.
asking you.
Yeah.
Production, it's just straight, boom, production.
Well, you still rules. You can only run 10-round magazines. You got to start with the hammer down.
They've already got me starting with the hammer down every time I shoot, even production.
Well, that's the rules for the production. If you start cocked and locked, then you can shoot the limited optics.
All right, I'll probably go limited optics on it then with everybody else in the world now. That seems the way everybody wants to go, and that's because the dots, everyone could see what they're shooting at, and when it's all dark at night.
All right, Ozzy, I have not seen anything from them before. I'm not sure. Anyone else knew?
Not me.
Never heard of them.
And I don't know if that's a newer company or not, but I haven't seen anything on them.
I got 3 emails today from y'all remember that company that was supposed to start making the primers in Texas? They had a distributor and they sell ammo. I wonder whatever happened to that. Anyway, I got 3 emails in a row saying that the 62 grain penetrators were, I believe that's M855. 5.56 ammo was going fast. So there's that. There's Bama Dad.
From what I was talking about at the beginning and stuff, and someone was saying don't fan the flames. So there's already a lot of panic stuff going on?
As far as the email lists go, yeah, I mean, I probably get at least half a dozen a day right now. As far as ammo goes, they're pushing ammo a lot.
And they're loving it, people. They want you to run over there and buy up a bunch of ammunition.
Callaway Ballistic had a pretty good deal on a 9 mil and a 5.56 and the 77 grain 5.56 with the Sierra bullets on them. So you might want to check them out.
If I see an excellent price on something, I would rather buy it now while the price is down than when it's out at the regular price.
That 77 grain ASC ammo was like $10-$50 or something. So it was definitely a good deal. I mean, 55 grain, I heard all different horror stories, but 77 grain, I had no issues. I mean, I only fired a little over 200 rounds myself, but I had zero problems and it was spot on.
Yeah, those Sierra Max King 77 grains, that it's hard for us to buy just the bullets at that price.
I mean, definitely once the freaking sale of the house goes through, there's going to be a big chunk of money converted to ammo and supplies.
Well, I'm just glad I'm still sitting on my stock. The stuff I bought pre-Bama and during the Bama.
Good night, Ocean.
I'm set to reload a couple thousand rifle rounds if I have to, but I'd rather have. It's not really worth to reload it, to be honest. The amount of work that goes into it, if you can get a good deal for the plinking ammo.
All right. Anyone knew about this? I didn't know there was a fire there. I didn't see that.
Yeah. One lady died. I don't know how it will affect uh, production.
Yeah, I mean, I heard something about the fire in there, but I wasn't really paying attention, to be honest. But now's definitely time to stack up on ammo and everything, and precious metals. Silver's down, gold's down. Go buy some. Chances are it's gonna go down a little more.
Nothing wrong with freeze dried food.
Yep. I mean, with all the crap going on, all the wars and all the, all of a sudden nobody talks about Ukraine anymore. Now everybody's switching their flags to Israeli flags. Now we got that shit going on. I wonder what's next. Iran's gonna come out. So I don't know. I mean, there's definitely a lot of shit going on in the world. Almost like somebody's pulling the strings, isn't it? Like, doesn't it surprise you, the Hamas attack? Doesn't it kind of remind you of 9/11 we had? Like how in the hell CIA and all that didn't know about the 9/11 ahead of time? Same goes for the Israel. Like they didn't know about this big ass attack ahead of time with all the intelligence agencies and all that. It almost looks to me like they needed a reason to go into Gaza and do what they want to do.
They knew before. I mean, come on. When the Secretary of the Navy gets off the daggone plane and tells me face to face, they know who did it and they're going to be getting the SOB. And this was just hours after the planes hit. They knew.
Well, I'm not getting into all that. I'm just saying, there's a lot of that is like, makes you think. Like I said, it's almost like somebody's pulling the strings.
Well, that's a given. I threw a link out there. I was just one of the first ones that popped up, but it looks like it was the chemical side of the plant. And one woman was killed and 2 guys were injured. So I don't know. We'll see. Doesn't say a whole lot more than that.
Hornady makes some very nice bullets. I ain't kidding you. They make some stuff that you can just really make some fine ammunition with some of their bullets. There's Dave Thorzak's.
Oh, he's like to the party.
So, Alan, what's going on with you as far as ranges and stuff, man? I know you're not you gave up on the range on your range, so you got anything close to you now, or what's kind of your options?
Well, like I said, I cannot possess a gun in the state of New York, so I don't do any shooting in the state of New York. All my shooting is done either in Pennsylvania or Massachusetts. So yeah, I'm not really that concerned with the ranges and all that because shooting season is pretty much over for us. It got too cold. We might have a match in November, but at the rate the temperatures are dropping, I doubt it. So we're pretty much done shooting till at least end of March, and hopefully by that time I'll be really looking for a place down south.
Okay, I was talking to Alan.
I'm sorry.
No, I've got a state range just outside of my town, and go to that. I can still go out to the area that I was building my range at, but as for finishing off that project, it's still kind of slightly up in the air. I I told him, no, I'm not going to deal with it. There was a lot of debate back and forth on what needed to happen, when it needed to happen, why it needed to happen. And ultimately, I don't technically own that property yet. So I'm like, whatever, it's your property. You do with it as you wish. And so I've been inquired with a couple of times on, no, we didn't tell you that you couldn't do this. And no, we didn't tell you that you couldn't gravel the area. And I'm like, yeah, you did. I don't give a shit. Whatever. It's your property. Eventually, when it's my property, it'll be another story. So, yeah, I've got a couple other buddies that have a little bit of land outside of town, and I can go shoot there. And in between that and the state range is where I'm unloading ammunition at the moment.
You can't go to shoot over with the honest outlaw, his house.
Yeah, I've tried to talk to that guy a number of different times. And I don't know, maybe it's just because I don't produce videos and I'm not a big YouTuber.
He's actually
Because
the only.
honestly, he's probably, I think he's about 20 minutes away from me.
He's actually the only one that did something for the Lakeview Outdoors. He didn't do video and whatnot, but he did a post on Facebook, so at least something. He was the only one. KB mentioned it something in one of the videos. All the other channels that promised kind of dropped the ball. You know, some of the other channels I approached, they are afraid to post the links because of the YouTube and all that and blah blah and whatnot. So, yeah.
So what
Yeah,
are you shooting?
I mean, losing that particular area was kind of a pain in the ass. Not only do I have a bit of steel to work with, but I've also got a brand new dueling tree that hasn't even come out of the case, and a few other things where I just like to go out, get it set up, and be able to jump out there whenever I can, and you know, have it set up kind of like Daniel's. It's not a ton of space, but somewhere where I'm not going to have to weed through the grass to try to pick up my brass, and I'm not tripping over lumps in the grass or anything if I'm trying to run and gun. And yeah, it just kind of fell through, and I'm just not going to argue with them.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure if you send a dueling tree to Daniel, he would let you shoot at his house whenever you want.
I'm just going to start saving up money. I wouldn't mind having a dueling tree and have a plate rack there. Something, that makes videos a little bit more interesting. But also when you have friends over, I mean, they get those good reactive targets because everybody likes hearing that ping, But that's the next step. But that's a little bit later. But the first thing I do is got to put the pavilion up because Scotsman can tell you, because he agrees with me, we don't like sweating in the hot sun.
There's a guy on eBay. He was selling dually tree and plate racks, and they had to be like assembled, and it was like very very reasonable price because basically he just sent you a bunch of steel, so you had to do your own welding and whatnot, and like some of the steel you had to provide yourself, but it was like I think the plate rack was I don't know, $300-400, $500, something like real inexpensive. And when I added like whatever I need to do, it was like, if you got somebody over there that can weld, it can be worth it.
Yeah, I remember seeing that a while back. I forget who it was, but there was a lot involved with that. And for the kind of money they want, just save the money and buy the one that's already ready to go. It's not save the hassle.
Yeah, but not having a setting area or loading bench or anything like that where you're not just out there in the blistering sun or where you've got no awning at all. Yeah, it kind of sucks. It kind of sucks. That's one of the things that I was looking at uh for this particular area as well, because the mass majority of the day it's wide open.
Yeah.
um and so and yeah, having a loading area and all that's almost a necessity.
Yeah. Keep your
Well,
bullets out of the sun.
Yeah, and it gets pretty dang hot out there too, man.
the guy that used to have a range, well, property where I had my range over here, he moved to Tennessee. He's the guy I spent Wednesday afternoon with, and he just purchased 120 acres and a house down there. And he's turning into sort of like a family compound. I mean, he purchased it for the kids. So if I might be moving down in that area. There might be a chunk of it I can use.
I don't know. You guys remember that deer that died right in front of my wife's deer blind? That big old buck. Well, that he's got over 600 acres down there in Tennessee, and his family go down there in the summer. I know the winters, and that's they just hunt, and it's like a big old compound, family compound down there. I got to get in with that guy a little bit tighter. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. There's places in this country where unimproved land is still available and not as cheap as it used to be, but
Right. Where are you at in the 308 series, Jamie?
fixing to do priming, then charging the cases, and then a video on seating bullets. Then we'll go to the range and see how they shoot, which is going to be an ordeal. Y'all talking about ranges? The there's a range about 20 minutes from me down the back roads in a little place what they call Taylorsville, but they are not even accepting members on their waiting list. There's another one up in northern Floyd County, which would be about 30-45 minute ride, and it's like 350 a year, I think. But you got to have two current members recommend you to be a member, and I know nobody that's a member there. I think I can work around that. If I get one guy, I can. He'll recommend. He'll get another friend of his to recommend. Anyway, we go up to Johns Mountain, the state-owned place, and that's where um, the the brass goblins hang out. And apparently, they've made some changes up there, so I'm probably going to be a little bit more, and that's an hour ride. So you're looking to go up there and shoot. You're looking at the better part of a day, hour up there and an hour back, and you got to wait to get your bench. And so this is the thing they did. Scotsman, you remember how you used to have to put $5 in the envelope and fill all that? It's all electronic now. And there's a range officer that lives on the property now, and he comes by and patrols on occasion. And uh, I heard that he stopped in there about 2 weeks ago, and nobody that was out there shooting had paid their money and put the money in the thing. So It's $5 to shoot as long as you want. Come on, people.
Yeah.
And the problem there is those people are the ones that are going to ruin it for everybody.
Exactly. They'll shut it down. I mean, it's on. It's a state-run facility on national forest property.
$5. And then those are the people who don't clean up. They leave all their junk and trash.
One of them comes up there, and I know this piece of crap don't ever pay to come up there. He comes in there with his son and his wife and both of their wives, and he's got a 5-gallon bucket, a broom, and a dustpan. And as soon as brass starts hitting the concrete, he starts sweeping it up. And I had a confrontation with him. And Scotsman, were you there that day?
I think it might have been. I know. I'm pretty sure I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so I'm okay, Bama Dad. When I get the 308 stuff done, I'm coming to your house. We'll make some videos. Yeah, it's they come up there and they don't pay, and then they start tearing stuff up. And I have very little patience for people like that.
Yeah, and we've seen what happens because Don had the same thing happen to her there in Michigan. They shut it down. They reopened it. It looks like, but that's what can happen. It was shut down.
Yeah, my brass hadn't even stopped rolling, and he's sweeping it up. And I'm like, hey man, I reload my brass, and I worked hard on that brass, and I'm taking it back home with me. And he looks at me and tells me that once it hits the concrete, it's his. And I'm like, who are you? Who are you, man? Get away from me and get away from my brass.
Some of the brass, I mean, you can pay $1 to $2 for certain brass.
It doesn't matter, but if you tell him that it's your brass and he still has the balls to say back, I mean, at that point, the only thing coming out of his mouth should be, "I'm sorry, here you go. I just swept it for you, that's all." You know?
Not to mention, he's talking like that to a man who's holding a loaded pistol in his hand. And
Exactly. Like, what the hell?
but we will. That brings up another point. People, listen to me. Just because somebody pisses you off, don't give you the right to shoot them. Okay,
No matter how much you want to.
right.
Nothing that a punch in the mouth would fix in the first place.
Right.
Hell, if that was the case, I wouldn't have any ammo. Would have done shot it all up.
It'd be like Abigail stacking bodies.
Remember back in the day when we would solve our issues if they got that bad out behind the barn or in the schoolyard, depending on how old you are?
That's
And after
before
that,
people got too happy suing everybody for everything.
yeah. After that, you'd be either drinking a beer or going out and getting something to eat with them.
Yeah. Turn out to be your best friend later on.
Yeah.
Well, the one state range that I go to, they purposely resell the brass off to a processor, but they've never said anything to me. Periodically, while I'm shooting in a booth, I sweep up into a pile, and then I sweep up into the pile, and so when it's time for me to go, I'm just still cleaning up my booth, and I just happen to sweep it up and put it in a grocery sack every time. They've never said anything to me about it, but I've kind of like heard through the grapevine from other people that they said, "Hey, we don't want you picking up the brass." I'm not grabbing your bucket over here that everybody's dropped into. I'm just sweeping up the stuff that I've shot. So,
exactly. And the dude John at the indoor range, part of his income. There you go, man. So part of his income is selling his brass uh, to people who do that thing. Uh, so I generally don't pick up my brass once it hits the floor at his place, but he don't mind if I pick up mine. I just can't differentiate mine from all that's already been shot. So I look at it as a cost of going to his range. That's why I usually buy ammunition from him when I shoot there, because he sells factory ammo. I mean, 50 rounds of 9mm for $10. I mean, throw the man a bone. You know what I mean? He charges $10 to shoot all day, and yeah, it's an indoor range, but
Hey, $10 for 50 rounds of 9mm.
It's actually not a bad deal.
Yeah, that's not bad. Leave him the brass for him because he's reloading it.
Well, he's selling it to reloaders. He's selling it to places like North Georgia Reloading. These people that sell remanufactured ammo, and so yeah, if I take my hand loads and shoot my revolvers, well, we all know that's going right back in my range bag. No problems there at all. But yeah, that's why I like revolvers so much. I don't even have to bend down to pick it up. Brass is right there. Plus, they're awful cool and fun.
That was one good thing about shooting a revolver. When I shot the 686, it was I had the moon clips and everything.
Ozzy Breaking Bad over here. I know somebody needs to take that old man. That's the reason he brings his son and both of their wives, because he knows he's going to tick somebody off, and one of these days he's going to get pistol whipped.
No, next time he comes over there, you make sure you bring some crappy brass with like a button primers and stuff, and leave that for him. Let him mess up his dice.
No, he don't reload.
Shoot steel case.
Yeah.
Let him get it all mixed up.
I don't know, something about a 350 Legend pistol Smith & Wesson came out with. What is this dude talking about?
Yeah, that's something Magnum Research would do in a BFR.
Well, they made a revolver in 4570, so I'm sure they can make one in 350 Legend.
Yeah, I saw that. It's a little on the pricey side for what it is.
Well, it's just a novelty. That's all it is. All these big ass calibers. It's like a Desert Eagle, the 50 A&E that I bought. I really, really want one. They finally made one New York compliant. I bought one, and 3 months later I sold it. Like it was a useless freaking gun. It's just like the Alien, right? They came up with a new version. Again, they only made 500 of them. Price is like $7,000 or something. And basically, the only thing they change is, they changed the grip angle a little bit. That's it. And a couple other changes, but nothing. The only significant change was the grip angle. And I keep busting their chops, like this is the useless gun. You can't, it's not carry optic illegal. Oh, we make the version that you can buy a new slider. Yeah, for like $2,000. I just spent $5,000 on a gun. I got to spend another $2,000 for a different slide because you guys can't figure out your rules. And you're still stuck with the 17 round magazines. So
Dave got a good comment out there. That's how things ought to be, Thorzax. Exactly the way things ought to be.
Yeah, so that Smith & Wesson 350 Legend, it's on an X frame, I guess. Basically, it's the same frame as the 500, but it kind of looks like a 500. 7-shot. Yeah.
7-shot.
Yep. Retailing at 1,600.
Oops.
How long are the barrels? What are the barrel choices?
I think it was just friggin'. I already done closed it, but
I think it was a 6.5, wasn't it?
That looked like same size as a 500. It's got like a let's see what's it say here. 71.5 ounces. They call it the Model 350. Oh, gee, that's innovative. 7.5 inch barrel.
That's
Typical
a lot of
single
burn.
double action.
It's a
Probably
lot
a
of
10-pound trigger.
A lot of burning powder going at the end of that barrel.
Yeah, on the X frame, so the same frame as the S&W 500. But it is a ported barrel.
.350 Legend's very good on deer. I'll vouch for that. I killed 2 with one last year. So they work. And they're very efficient. They don't.
Yeah, it just kind of looks a little bit like a smaller 500, just as 350 Legend.
Yeah, just with a longer cylinder, right?
Yep, a little bit longer cylinder. Got a lot of beef around that cylinder though. There is a lot of beef there. Is a ported barrel with a red ramp. Standard fare.
Yep.
Well, is that going to be your cowboy action setup there, Jamie?
Absolutely not.
It's gonna be his EDC.
They don't. They won't let you have a double action in cowboy action shooting.
And it still has the Hillary hole and standard rubber Packmeyer style grip, whatever.
I'm sorry, stainless steel guns still look good with wood grips, wood stocks.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I don't know, man. It's too pricey for what it is. You know. I get it though.
350 Legend made a really big insurgency, and that's one that for some oddball reason, when we did have like the last big ammo crisis, 350 Legend and 10 millimeter were one of the ones that seemed like they stayed on the shelf the longest. So for whatever that's worth.
Yeah, it's real popular out this way, but I don't know about the revolver side of it. That's a whole new beast. All right, we're getting close to that time, so we'll start going through the room. Jamie, what you got, brother?
Working on the 308 stuff, and of course, we always have Friday night live stream over at Georgia Shooting Connection. Hope y'all come check us out Friday nights at 8 o'clock. Hey, man, thanks for having me. and it's been real, and it's been fun. Thanks.
Well, always a pleasure, man. Daniel, what you got, man?
Well, I posted one video here in how many months? And as boring as I sound in it, people actually turned around and subscribed instead of my subscriber count going down. When I post a video, it actually went up. So I
I'm
don't know
sorry to
what's
hear that, Daniel.
I don't know what's up with that, but yeah, it's like unsub me. Everybody, please unsub me. Because I just do this because I don't like typing when I troll people. I like doing it to their faces. So, Scotsman, thanks for having me on because it's always fun trolling Val.
Yeah, you like doing it to their faces. Sounds like a real seaman.
Uh,
Is that a capital C or lower C?
You take it anywhere you want.
I hear that's what you do a lot.
all right, Val, what you got, man?
Not a whole lot. Just been busy with work. Got a couple of jobs. Got to pay the bills until the house is sold. So I'm still combing through footage I got from down south. So there's more to be released in the next week or so. So stay tuned. Other than that, just thanks for having me. And you guys have fun and keep shooting whatever you can.
Yep, appreciate you, man. Yeah, we had a good chat. Lots of good topics out there in the side chat as well. Appreciate everyone out there. And Alan, take us out right, brother.
Oh man, finally glad to see everybody tonight. The staples on the panel, everybody out in the side chat. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, I'm glad we were able to get the show done this week. One of the things is that I've got coming up in maybe 2 or 3 weeks is actually a video on an old product. Well, not really old, but it's not new. And I don't even know why I'd be reviewing it because everybody already knows what it is. Maybe I just won't even do the video at all. Anyway, want you to remember to keep them magazines loaded and one in the chamber. Woo!